Do you know where this pic...
Hi, chat. How's it going? I am continuing my quest to chat to read all the VTuber Google Dockies because this community releases a lot of them.
Yes.
And tonight we technically have 4, but 3 of them are very short, so I don't think they count. This happened at the start of July. So it's been about 2 months since this one happened. So this is not recent news, chat. I believe July 7th is when it was posted, and July 8th is when it was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know this person at all, and as usual, chat, we do not go harass anybody. We talk about we are good people. We are good fish, and we do nothing wrong. Also, I've brought in Akko. Akko is doing their own stream on their own stuff.
It's more like I'm sharing your stuff, and then I'm also playing Minecraft as well. I was talking about Tectone for a little bit.
Who's very gay.
He's very gay, and apparently he is taking a bit of responsibility now by saying that he recognizes that he's a very angry, bitchy Eggman, and he's going to step back until he can talk about his alleged sexual assault.
Is he gonna apologize to me?
No, he's probably not gonna apologize to you. I highly doubt that.
Well, gay.
It'd be funny though.
Fuck him then.
It'd be funny if he did though. If he ever if he ever had you on stream and said, "Mizu, I'm sorry for brigading you," that would be like the funniest thing ever. I'm gonna start like putting the vibes out into the universe for that to happen. I want it to happen. I want the universe to give you that W of having him apologize to you.
Fair. So chat, we're gonna read these 3 documents first. This is from KinaVT. Surprisingly, they wrote all 3 of these unprompted. They were preemptively defending themselves from something that did not happen. So
Really?
Yeah. So it's very much ball is in their court to start with. Fantastic decision. So the first document they made was called How Over/Hypersexualization Ruined My Life. Honestly, this is something to write about my own past, cover everything that built up all the problems about me, and really just explain what the fuck is wrong with me. This happened when I was 14. I had been talking with this girl for over 2 years, who has helped me with mental health issues online from my childhood. I've always had horrible mental health due to verbally and physically abusive parents who have driven me to attempt self-delete several times, with me being surprised how I'm still alive. I screwed up my relationships with this girl because I really liked them, but they didn't like me back. And they'd gotten a partner, and once their partner heard about me, they wanted her to stop having a friendship with her because I was clearly in love with her with all the I miss yous I've been sending. Because we stopped talking since they've gotten a partner and busy with their own life in high school. After that entire thing, I had been in a lackluster for love. I don't think you know what that means.
How old is this person?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Keep in mind everything I just read when we get to the next part. With my heart feeling broken and wishing for something to fill it, and explaining my story, just had people constantly make fun of me as if I viewed life as some kind of fantasy land where there are happy after alls. Eventually, I would go on to talk to many people, but ended up losing them over the fact that it clearly seemed I had a problem and they didn't want to deal with it or be a replacement to anything. Until finally, I met this person. She was an adult approaching her 40s at the time. I was maybe 15 or 16, recently came out as trans, broken-hearted, and wanting for love.
What the fuck?
This was released unprompted, by the way. Just keep that in mind.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm having trouble following, and it's not because of you. It's just I really don't know what they're talking about. Like, the blue stuff is where I feel like I'm finally starting to understand right now.
Yeah. So, remember that, chat, this was all released completely unprompted. 3 documents where we have a we have the counter document at the very end. I had no idea about her age until way later, but I was asked for consent, and I was taught a lot of sexual things. I was taught to do sexual things for praise and reward, taught to be sexual and act correctly to demands, send nude pictures of myself and answer to strange demands of sexual behaviors, humiliate myself as a reward for comfort, as she was able to comfort me. This definitely rewired my brain and was something I should not have done at the time, and was something that definitely messed me up. Can you kind of see why we're learning this story, by the way?
Are they going to accuse somebody of rape?
No. So remember, this is how hypersexualization ruined their life.
Oh.
And there's 3 documents after this.
Oh no. This is going to turn into them being accused of something now, and they're just going to say, well, I can't. I already feel like I know where it's going.
Let's give it time.
Okay.
Because I've always had the mindset that my body is worth nothing and that I have no value. So it's rare to even see anyone take interest in me and want me and praise me and see me as someone with value. It worked, and for a very long time I was conditioned to sexual behavior for a sense of reward. And this caused a lot of problems for me in the long run with people I get close with that don't instantly deny me, is that I have problems with my own sexual activity. Later I found out this would be referred to as hypersexuality, which I struggle with still, and it's kind of hard to avoid being sexual in certain relationships, and is a struggle that has made me lose a lot of people, friends, and kind individuals that support me. Where
can I contact this chick if she's handing out nude pics?
Chat. Bad chat.
Bad chat.
I still struggle with everything to this day, which has made me want to self-delete more and more after each time I realize that things I do is wrong. After talking with individuals with similar experiences, I was able to conclude to these things and what grooming really does to somebody. It makes someone feel rewarded to do certain things, and when they are gone, it's still hard to walk out of these kind of behaviors, and it really hurts. Because I don't want bad things to happen, but they constantly happen because of those things that lead to bad endings and outcomes. By the way, this is written terribly.
Yeah, I like I said, again, I'm having trouble following, and yeah. Back to not knowing what they're talking about.
I've damaged a lot of things due to this, and I really wish I could stop damaging relationships because I know it's wrong. Yet, after my groomer abandoned me, I still continued to talk to adults sexually as a minor at the time, which caused a lot of problems. And I know deep down that it was wrong, but I still wanted to do those things to feel like I have a sense of value, because I feel like I have no value as a person, and my own existence just brings the world down with me. I still continue to have sexual involvement with adults, and I've lied about my age in the past and would accidentally turn people that become friends with me that are adults into engaging in weird things with me. And it's really just my own problem, and I know I shouldn't be doing this, yet I still do things like this. And I really don't know how to fix myself and this very problem that has caused so much issues, and I don't really know how to figure it out. Now that I'm an adult, I still struggle with things like boundaries because I'm someone who doesn't understand them, as I've had them all violated, and I've never had any, and also struggle with self-worth and appreciation because I see myself as someone with no value and still continue to destroy myself because of it. After the things I've done, sometimes I really just want to end it all for all the problems I've caused, people I've hurt because of this, people that told me to change, yet I am only able to disappoint them. This has ruined my life, and I don't know how to fix it. It just keeps staying and growing with a pile of problems like rotting cancer. And I know I'm fucked up and I'm human garbage because I continue to indulge in such behavior and even find joy out of it, and I hate that.
Oh.
I hate that I find joy in these sexual behaviors because someone set me to enjoy them, and I hate that it's hard for me to avoid sexual things because I'm conditioned to love and want to enjoy it. So that's our first unprompted document. Do you have thoughts?
That's it?
That is the first unprompted document of 4. Sorry, 3.
My thoughts are this person failed English.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to read it. But that leads into our second unprompted document. I'm sorry I'm not the perfect, amazing human being you thought I was.
Fuck.
You
want me to take a turn at some point?
You're good. I'm a selfish person that's driven by greed. I am greedy for a lot of things, and to be honest, people like me don't deserve anything, and my ability to change is abysmal. To this day, I still lie, I still do all the things when I was a minor I was told not to do, but as an adult, I continue to engage in the sexual activity I did as a minor, and nothing changed about me when I was told to change countless times. I've not changed as a person, the only thing that changed about me was age. I still like the things that would be deemed unacceptable to like, and I am still just the uttermost horrible human being. I doubt in my own ability to change, and I said that yet in my apology because I can't take my mind off it. I promised to change, which I genuinely felt like to promise, which was able to relieve my heart from its beat because it was beating so fast. I wasn't able to get any rest and just wanted to end it all. They're trying to be really like artsy fartsy with some of these, like relief from my heart from its beat because it was beating so fast.
Well, I want to know what they're confessing to, because they feel like they're trying to confess to something.
Right.
I don't get it.
Don't worry, after this we still have 2 more documents to figure it out.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to go in order. I didn't want to spoil anything for people.
Have you read these yet? Have you pre-read them?
A little bit, yes. I skimmed it.
Just a little bit? Okay.
I skim everything to make sure there's nothing bad in it, and it's not like just, wow, this is bullshit kind of deal.
Yeah, I want to make sure that there's no porn in it before you show it off. That's fair.
I want to change. I've always wanted to change, but it's so hard to change what's deeply rooted in me from my younger days and get rid of what I was taught. I always doubt my own ability to change because it almost feels like I've never changed and that I've never done anything right. And I've always failed people's expectations, and I couldn't promise change, but this time I really promised it. I did really want to change.
This is something that should go to a therapist, not Twitter.
Pretty much, yeah. But I still don't believe in myself and my own ability to change, which is why I feel like anything that comes towards me is correct, and I deserve all the loss, pain, and suffering that is to come. Everything that is to come towards me, I did to myself. I deserve every single ounce of it. I sexually harassed someone. I hurt people. I crossed boundaries. I made people lose trust in me. I did a lot of the things that are wrong. I know they are wrong. But they happened, and because I'm an adult, all these responsibilities fall on me, and I will take everything that is to come towards me, no matter how much I lose. Because genuinely, people like me don't deserve... Jesus, this is...
There's a lot of self-humiliation. Do you think you have a humiliation fetish?
It's a possibility. Because genuinely, people like me don't deserve anything. It's only a matter of time when these thoughts consume me, and I have another attempt at ending it all. I'm sorry I hid and lied about me being human garbage. I won't hide it anymore. The truth is here. You don't need to support me. Everything I've done is deserved. Feel free to add extra details if you felt like things were missing in the doc via tweets, especially the people involved. I don't want anything. I did wrong to go missing, and I just want the truth to be out. But this is my POV. I don't want to lie or make things feel like they are unimportant. What I did was wrong, and I will take everything that happens to me from it. And then they end it by linking to a follow-up document called...
Seriously?
A final reflection of my own defense. Remember, all three of these are unprompted.
Unironically, the first thing to stand out to me was, first and foremost, I was told I never committed sexual assault. I don't know why that just like stood out to me the most, but that's the first thing I zoned in on.
So we're just gonna go through it. After assessing this case with multiple older and experienced adults, I am once again writing a doc. All these happened within 2 days, by the way. Two of these were on the 7th, and one of these were on the 8th. So
this person is way more depressed than I've been recently.
Hello, everyone. I never intended to defend myself, but my friends want me to defend myself as they think some of the claims I blame myself for are absolutely ridiculous. So I will just note the things they want me to say here. First and foremost, I was told I never committed sexual assault because, quote, sexual assault happens when someone either touches another person in a sexual manner without consent or makes another person touch them in a sexual manner without consent. It includes unwanted kissing and the touching of someone's genitals, breast, or bottom. But I've never met said individual in real life and have not had any physical interactions. The case most likely will be defined as sexual harassment. Behavior characterized by the making of unwelcome and inappropriate sexual remarks or physical advances in a workplace or other professional or social situation, which isn't any better. But I'm not going to defend myself from that. But from what it seems like, it was mostly miscommunication between me and the other individual. Before being told their age, I had already begun talking to them like this. I assumed they were also a young adult, being 18 just like I am. Turns out we have a major age gap with them being 7 to 8 years older than me. What? They say older than them.
Oh, okay. That makes it a little bit better.
That makes it sound weird. I don't understand what they're doing.
I feel like Destiny has somehow groomed this person into thinking that they raped somebody.
I have no idea what's going on.
You know what I mean?
But honestly, I don't think age matters here, even though the people who I talked to did try to say that adults at that age should be able to comprehend and deny people of such things. But I knew going in that was also scuffed, and they didn't really feel like their age at all. In fact, they do indeed feel like someone with the mindset of being 18.
Okay.
This is weird. That's a really fucking weird way to phrase that.
So they think that they're a little, but their littleness only goes to the age of 18.
Yeah. So in the end, I don't really think age matters for what I ended up doing, as I just treated them as someone the same age as me and also believed them to be the same age as me. But genuinely, when in calls, I did everything I can to not make it feel awful. I did important things, such as asking for consent when discussing heavy topics that are sexual. I was given a confirmed yes, so I firmly believe I was given consent. And because they said it to me, I was more sure in the moment that it was okay to discuss these topics because I was given consent. In these calls, nothing kept them here. If there was any discomfort, they could easily leave call, tell me what is putting them in distress, saying out loud their distress in our conversations instead of hiding it, letting me know to stop instead of saying it's okay because I genuinely left me so confused. Because after years of talking to adults, usually it's okay means it's okay. Usually the kind where they know it's bad but are still okay with it. Would you like to read this next page for me?
Yeah, starting at the top where but.
Yeah.
But what's really important, I guess, is I skimmed over the few messages about them discussing to me they don't want to discuss sexual topics. Yet when I shut my mouth about discussing sexual topics by cutting it off to ask for consent, I was what? By cutting off what? I'm sorry. I was given a yes, so it really made me really lost on what the boundaries are. Is this person 18 or 8?
Yeah, they're not good with writing.
What happened was I also missed a message, and when I did talk about these things I wasn't told to stop, there was nothing stopping me from continuing. I was still getting responses, and I was still getting replies that didn't seem very negative, but more neutral of replies. I really didn't get any signs to stop what I was doing, and then I was completely ghosted, which is okay, honestly. But this continued to unravel into a whole controversy due to miscommunication and actually thinking that they might like me back. I didn't even know I was rejected beforehand since I didn't actually miss the DM visually. And I can't change that I missed the DM and my mentality was still the same as before since nothing was said in VC and nothing was told to me in a serious manner. So it's just mostly lost in confusion, and I'm not very experienced with someone who is very confused in their decisions. Excuse me. This is just my entire POV of things. I'm completely okay with any other's POV being released, but this is all I have. If you wish to call me out, feel free to do so. I am ready for any damage, and I am ready for any kind of punishment that you feel I deserve. But lastly, I just want to reflect on what is there to change. Well, the root of it all is because of my hypersexuality, which has caused me problems for years, and that I want to change. But I constantly have things that feed into it, like people actively having sexual demands for me, and also me engaging back into these sexual demands. As I reflect, there are many things that I have tried to do right, like asking for consent, which is extremely huge and very important, and something I at least did correctly. I have tried asking for advice from people that we're close with, and they clearly know I have a liking to them, and I was just very clear with how I felt, which they could have easily warned them, and none of them stopped me really until I was getting called out. But in reality, it's to stop seeking and wanting romantic relationships with others and stop wanting any kind of sexual things from others. I have to kill all desire in order to truly have a clean relationship with others like this.
Don't you love it? How they're beautiful prose.
Yes. Another change is to stop ignoring text messages no matter how...
No big deal.
Oh, you want to read it? Okay, good.
Another change is to stop ignoring text messages, no matter how big or small. It's important to read them all and make sure that I no longer have things that happen like this due to a few missed messages I skimmed over and didn't get the idea of. In the end, the best solution to everything and all my problems, I've decided to close my heart. I will no longer seek for love and sex. And the end goal is to get rid of all desire and emotion for such thing, as that would completely fix me. But it's a challenge to really change that part of desire about me, so I have doubt in my change. As I've always doubted because I was never able to get rid of these desires for so long. That said, I think a lot of people really just ignored my POV and chose to ignore me in this entire situation, and that's okay. But I've definitely also lost a lot of trust in people who pretend to care about me. You can call me disgusting for being unable to change, but I genuinely do think it's hard not to have such emotions, and it will be difficult to get rid of them. Another thing is to just be more aware of boundaries, something that is still very hard to figure out for me, and even harder when all I get is clues and confusion. Last and finally, on my final reflection, I did do something wrong. I didn't respect someone's boundaries. I wasn't able to understand them without having a more serious talk about them. And I was just confused and not sure, yet I decided to keep pushing on due to my own desire. So I apologize, even though I know it will be ignored and not forgiven. But I also learned a lot from this situation, and I am officially out of your lives. For such a disgusting human being, I am pretty lucky to get off so scot-free. How would you say that?
I don't know.
So I do really expect for something to come, but change is hard. I can't promise I'll be able to get rid of all these desires. But I can promise something like this won't happen again, because I'm never ever in my life going to speak to said individual again, as they want me completely out of their lives, and I respect that. Second, I will just simply stop seeking relationships. Not having any desire for relationships will drift things away from romantic and eventually sexual topics. It will also drive out the desire to flirt and the desire to basically do anything hinting towards sex. And third, if someone feels any hint of discomfort while talking to me, I will simply just cut them off so nothing bad ever happens. And knowing they won't want to talk to me anyway, it's most likely better for them. So those are our 3 unprompted, randomly released documents from this person. Which culminated in this response to KinaVT. And just for posterity's sake, there are 2 pages above this, but it's just kind of their preamble and who's involved and their
Oh, this is 32 pages long.
Yes.
This is
the actual document that had not been released at the time of their 3 pages.
So what we just read was the prologue. This is the actual adventure.
Yes. This is the prologue. That was the prologue from the accused perspective. This is the accuser.
Okay.
So, sexual harassment incident. We want to start by addressing Kina's first document. On July 7th, Kina announced that she would be posting a Google Doc soon. At this point, no one knew why, but she made it seem like she had done something very bad that would make people hate and abandon her. She claimed she couldn't hide it and that she had already lost everything. When we look at Kina's first doc, it talks about a situation where she was 14 to 15, in which she was groomed. She states her groomer was nearly 40 years old, and she had no idea of this at first. Even after the vile person who groomed her moved on to a new victim, Kina continued to act sexually towards adults, as she states in her own doc. Despite people telling her to stop, after this document, a lot of people responded with support and pity for Kina, saying they still love and support her, and that none of this was her fault. Then Kina goes and publishes a second doc called "I'm Sorry I'm Not the Perfect Human Being You Thought I Was." A document in which she confesses to having sexually assaulted someone. In later tweets and documents, she corrects herself to it having been sexual harassment. She then goes on to refer to this streamer as a smaller streamer that joined my server. Kina explains how they became friends, how she got introduced to the victim's friends, which eventually turned into a small friend group. The people involved in this document are the friend group Kina refers to, along with a few supporting friends who knew Kina. After the initial document, Kina had already stirred up a lot of emotions for people who have gone through similar experiences, or just people who felt like she was the victim in general. Kina chose to publish the first doc of her own experience before posting a second doc where she addresses sexually harassing someone. We believe that this was a calculated move to garner sympathy and soften the blow from her own actions. We are here to tell you the truth and provide evidence. Once again, we want to make very clear that Kina was specifically told we did not want any of this public. It was only after Kina released her docs, manipulated the narrative, and made Mochi out to be a vengeful victim that we decided to release our side of the story.
Okay, so we're getting the victim's name now.
Yes. Which is Mochi.
Okay.
So, Kina's friendship with the victim. As Kina stated in her own doc, this happened a few months ago when she became friends with the victim, Toasty Mochi. Any friend of Mochi's knows that she is aromantic/asexual. This has been made very clear to Kina from the start, and it is a big part of how Mochi interacts with her friends, which is in a non-flirtatious and kind manner. Mochi often talks about how she is uncomfortable with any sexual topics, and prefers to keep her streams and friendships wholesome. We know for a fact that Kina was 100% aware of this, as she had been all the way back in January. Mochi says kind of ace on 1/14/2025 at 1 in the morning about. Mochi says true, I always find overly sexual things uncomfortable about 30 minutes later. Kina, this doesn't necessarily mean Kina knew. Because then the next message here you provide... Shoot. It's hard to see it. Sorry, chat.
You're good.
Is from 5/30/2025. At least it looks like 5/30. Which is 4 months later. A little over 4 months almost. Kina says, I demand feet pics and DMs. Mochi says, no feet pics though. I'm not comfortable with feet pics. Sorry, Kina. I'm just not comfortable with lewd things. Care a lot about you as a friend, but sexual stuff always makes me really uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I really struggle to explain things, but I'm ace, and I feel like there is too much of an age difference. I think no sexual things is a boundary. That is a pretty clean boundary, honestly.
I agree.
Pretty well stated.
Yeah.
Kina talking about how Mochi is surprisingly toppable 3 days before the incident. I would rather not have it before the incident. I'd rather have it after the incident. Or is it after this? This is 11 days before this, it looks like.
Okay.
So I don't like that this is before she says this, and I don't like that there's no evidence that Kina saw this. Although, don't ask random people for feet pics.
Yeah, you're not the quartering.
Yeah. You shouldn't do it either.
I'm sorry for not providing context to that, but I can explain it later if you'd like.
We'll do it later. Kina talking about how Mochi is surprisingly toppable 3 days before the incident. Kina says IDK. Coven says, hey, it's alrighty, Kina. Kina says, uh-huh. Coven says, you can say whatever it is you want to say. Kina says, uh-huh again. Coven says, do I need to be concerned? Kina says, no. Coven says, take your time. Kina says, well, Mochi seems surprisingly toppable. Why are you talking about this with another person? That does make it really weird to me. Right? Like, it's one thing...
She really? Oh, she is, yeah.
It's one thing if I'm, like, joking with my friend. I'm like, hey, bro, you're super toppable. Like, it can... Depending on your relationship, it can be weird. But at least you're saying it to them, right?
Yeah.
Saying this with a random third party just feels weird. And I want to know why she said it to this third party. Oh, that's...
Yeah, there's some context here that I'd like to know.
Kina suspiciously asking about Mochi's body type and then admitting she was fantasizing about Mochi sexually and trying to get Mochi's attention by publicly tagging her on Twitter. Is this the same day? This is the same day. This is like 5 minutes later.
Don't do that, chat.
Kina says, the question I just asked you. Coven says, her body type? Fair. Kina says, yes, I'm curious, that's all. I'm pretty open about my body type, though. Coven says, I mean, you have posted selfies and stuff. Kina says, lol. Coven says, but Mochi is just generally IDK, more shy and secret about it. I am kind of open about it, though, although vaguishly. Coven says, tagging her on Twitter because you were fantasizing about her is kind of interesting. Coven says, also, I will say if you're going to ask her body type, at least admit why are you asking. And then Kina mentions the tagging thing and just says, shut. Which, like, this is not cute and quirky. This is kind of fucking weird.
It is, yes, I agree.
Also, because of the way it's being worded, I believe this is happening in DMs, or at least somewhere where Mochi can't see it.
Uh-huh.
Because she even mentions, at least admit why you're asking her, so it's very clear that Mochi can't see this. It's just weird.
Oh no, it's 100% weird, but like, I don't know. It just sounds like this person, again, I mean, like, they've admitted, like, yeah, I'm hypersexual, and it's just like, this is weird, man. I don't know. So is this how hypersexual people act? Because I've only role-played with people that pretend to be.
No, not really.
Okay.
This is a day later. Mochi admitting to having bad experiences regarding relationships/sexual relationships 3 days prior. Mochi is forwarded the message, and Kina once again being made aware that Mochi is Arrow Ace. Coven says Mochi is Mochi, and she apologizes for anything she feels might upset someone. What matters here is, how did you phrase things? Did you push her after she said no, stuff like that, and what her actual responses were? So Kina forwards a message that says, I'm really flattered. I'm just really bad at processing this kind of stuff because I have a lot of bad experiences, like IDK had to explain myself. I like you too, but like as a close friend, but like not in a lewd way. I'm really sorry. I hope I'm making sense. Coven replies, says, yes, she's Arrow Ace. Kina says, yeah, right. Coven says, she is basically saying she wants you to stay her friend. In a group chat, Mochi also gives Kina a hard no on any sexual topics due to them being Arrow Ace and their age gap. In Kina's docs, she described this as something she missed due to it not being a huge message denying her, but just one small sentence. She missed it doing not to being a huge message denying her, but just one small sentence. So it turns out that DM ended up being the hard no I was given, not through voice calls, not through long and huge DM denying me, but just one small sentence saying, I wouldn't like to talk about sexual things with you or being in a relationship due to our age gap, 5+ years, I am younger. No means no, regardless if it was just one small sentence. I don't really understand what they're saying here. This needs to be worded so much better.
I agree.
This is the picture from Kina's document. But I think because she edited the document, so it feels weird. But the way this whole thing is phrased is kind of hard to follow.
Like most Google Docs, yeah, it's very, very difficult to understand.
Here are the conversations that kind of point out the hard no with sexual topics or pointing out that she wanted to fuck Mochi, which then proceeds to do 2 days later, and Kina admitting that she did also find the hard no that Mochi gave, which Kina denied ever finding or knowing off her doc. Kina says, no, I mean like, at Momo, I didn't mean to harass you like that. Coven says, I think you're fine unless you asked her to fuck you directly. Kina says, what? Momo says, sorry, my Discord crashed for some reason. I think Momo is Mochi.
Okay.
Coven says, exactly. I don't think you harassed her. And then she quotes Momo and says, no worries, welcome back. Momo says, I'm really bad at this stuff too. You didn't harass me. Kina says, oh my god, I'm sorry, but I was looking past the messages to try and find the hard no and realized that I found it, but I never read that message fully and skimmed it. I'm really sorry. I never wanted it to turn out this way, but yeah, that's all I had to say, but I'm ready to be blocked or anything happen if there's going to be no response. A sentence that should be loud and clear was not enough for Kina to stop pushing sexual topics onto someone 5+ years older who is aromantic and asexual. Rape threats on VC.
I saw that and I was like, oh dear, this is gonna be serious.
5/22/2025. Kina asked the victim to VC with her, to which she agrees. Mochi states that from the start of the call, Kina had only been talking about sex, something which Mochi previously clearly stated she was uncomfortable with. Kina asked Mochi if they could discuss sexual things regarding Mochi, to which she responded with no. Kina then proceeded to ask her if she could talk about her own sexual experience and trauma instead, to which Mochi hesitantly agreed due to her being scared of how Kina would react if she said no again. Now, it's very, very important to note that Mochi only agreed to having Kina talk about her own sex life. Kina proceeds to ask Mochi if they could meet up so she could have sex with Mochi.
What the fuck?
She felt like Mochi is very toppable. Mochi once again has to clarify that she does not like sexual topics because she is asexual. Kina's response to this was that Mochi just had not had the right experience yet, and that she would take the lead if they met up and had sex. She went on to go into detail about how Mochi should try toys and other places on her body to experience pleasure, telling her that she just hadn't had the right experience yet. I know Mochi is older, but that is like so groomy. You know what I mean? Like the...
Mm-hmm.
No, you just haven't had the right experience yet. We'll start with toys, and we'll try it in different... What the fuck is wrong with you? Ugh.
Girls not taking no for an answer. That was about right for girls.
It's just weird. Although I am of the opinion, like, yeah, you need to just leave the call at that point.
Yeah, what is forcing this person to stay in the call with them legitimately?
Okay, so this is not a rape threat. I don't like that they worded it this way. So later into the call, after realizing Mochi was very uncomfortable with the topics, Kina nervously laughs about how she feels like she's sexually harassing Mochi and ends the call abruptly. We refer to this as a rape threat because she is trying to push someone into meeting up for sex, knowing that it is unwanted. Do not call that a rape threat.
That is not a rape threat.
Do not do that.
That is... Listen, Mochi, or not Mochi, Kina does not sound like they have the physical capacity, all right? They definitely don't have the mental capacity to rape somebody, so I don't believe that they've got the physical capacity. Based on their English skills, I don't think that they mentally or physically could do this, all right?
Yeah. And do not call that a rape threat. That is severely downplaying what that is.
I agree. For all the people that have been raped in life, that would probably be very disgusting for them to have to hear.
Yeah, like, do not do that.
Yep.
Is this 5/20/25? So this is same day. An important thing to note is that this is a conversation Kina had with Mochi and Coven 2 days before the call, in which Kina said to Mochi that she wants to visit her and fuck her. Is it 2 days before the call? Oh, sorry, they just wrote it wrong up here. I read it wrong, sorry. This is 5/22. This is 5/20, so this is 2 days earlier. Put this in order next time.
You know they never put it in order, man.
I just hate it.
Uh-huh.
Coven, Kina is panicking in my DMs, and like I just want to make it so everyone is aware and the record is straight. Kina is worried that she made things awkward and things might go poorly, and more so that she made you uncomfortable, and is worried since you apologize. I explained you just apologize for a lot of stuff. Since you said you want to be friends, that means you still want to be friends. Since Kina is panicking too much to ask for clarification, and since I know you love Kina as a friend, can you please clarify here you still love her as a friend? Momo says, I'm just apologizing because I'm worried I upset you, which I don't want to do. I do love you as a friend, Kina. I'm just really bad with words, which is why I'm apologizing so much. Coven says, there we go. I tried to explain that, but hopefully this will help. Now then, we finally have a group chat with us three, which was long overdue. Kina says, I need to fix my brain. Coven says, you have rejection sensitivity, and the best way to deal with that is having things be clear and straight. I realized I couldn't calm you down, so I figured this was the best approach. And if I am correct, you should at least be slight, and then it's blocked by the view order message thing.
Holy shit. I noticed that one of them was blocked.
Kina is.
That is funny.
Kina says, no, I mean, like, Momo, I didn't mean to harass you like that. Coven says, I think you're fine, unless you asked to fuck her directly. Kina says, what? Momo says, sorry, my Discord crashed for some reason. I have a sneeze.
Oh. Bless you. Fuck. There's a spider jockey chasing me!
How many dogs have you covered, Mizu? Plenty. I feel like I have a second one.
Bless you.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Bless your sacred sneeze.
Coven says, exactly. I don't think you harassed her, and no worries, welcome back. Mochi says, I'm really bad at this stuff too. You didn't harass me. This is one we saw earlier, but with everything in order, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
During a previous incident, before 22/5/2025, Kina was told that they didn't think she was harassing Mochi, telling her that it would have been different if Kina had directly asked or spoken about wanting to fuck Mochi. Mochi also expressed being bad with words and struggling to handle situations. Kina was worried she might have harassed Mochi previously, but Mochi herself assures Kina that she doesn't feel like she was. only for Kina to threaten to rape and top her 2 days later. It wasn't threatening to rape. Let's cut out the threatening to rape thing. However, yes, they did 2 days later, after this conversation, directly talk about wanting to have sex with them, which is weird when in the conversation they're like, it would be a little different if you asked to like have sex with her. That would be super creepy. That was not a challenge. I don't know why they saw it as a challenge.
Yeah, it just sounds like mentally ill people all congregating together, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, you guys like suck at like being people.
They do.
Like if I had somebody like this, they just kept like refusing to acknowledge me, I'd just like, yeah, fuck you, bye.
Exactly. It's one of those things where VTubers is like an endless pool of interesting content because there's always going to be a new mentally ill person that makes a Google Doc.
Yeah. In Kina's third document, she defends the actions in this call with the following words. In these calls, nothing kept them here. If there was any discomfort, they could easily leave. I'm not reading the rest of it. We already read that. We want to debunk this by saying that Mochi has pretty severe social anxiety, something which Kina was fully aware of. Leaving calls is not as easy as it sounds in this case, as Mochi knew Kina would have taken it very personally and potentially gotten angry or emotional with Mochi. No.
Okay.
You could have left.
That's not an excuse. Just there's the hang up button. I can literally hang up on Mizu right now if I really wanted to.
Yep. Something which she wouldn't know how to handle. Mochi has reason to think this, as we do, because we have proof of this behavior. Coven and Mochi informed Kina they would be telling her their thoughts a few days prior to the confrontation, and the day before/day of, she had these statuses and bio on her Discord profile. The status was alcohol. The bio was, if it's sharp, it'll be quick and it won't hurt. And the bio was changed to, hi, if you're reading this, if I go inactive for more than 2 weeks without any voice, I am sorry. Which this actually is like an abuse tactic, is to self-delete bait. The really shitty thing to do.
I agree.
And it preys on people's empathy.
And oftentimes it works.
Yeah. Because no like empathetic person wants to see you hurt yourself. But it also means you're a piece of shit.
Exactly.
These are emotionally manipulating words, something which Kina is known for throughout her Twitter and Discord. Doesn't take a lot of searching for anyone to find similar messages on her page. It's important to note that while we can't control or decide what Kina posts, she is still an individual, and with what is considered a large following in the indie VTubing space, Kina uses self-delete and self-harm threats in a manipulative manner, as many mutuals followers may not know how to handle this and start to treat her in a way they feel scared to speak up.
Hold on, how big is this person?
Their Twitter is only like 4K, I think.
They're not big in the indie scene.
Well, I didn't check their like Twitch or anything. I have no idea.
I don't know. I feel like they're lying.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. I'll open it on my other monitor, actually.
My music stopped.
You killed your music?
No, it killed itself.
So it's you. They have 8,000 on Twitter. I misread that.
8,000. I think 10K is when you start to actually quote unquote get big.
Do they not have like a Twitch link? They have a Ko-fi link, but they don't have like a Twitch link.
Are they a V-tweeter?
Okay, here it is. I can go to their Ko-fi and find it. Their YouTube is 266 subscribers. Very massive. And their Twitch is 2.3K.
They are not a big creator, I'm sorry.
They look mentally ill.
Oh gosh, do they have like a picture of themselves?
No, I mean their model does.
Oh, so they look like every typical Menhera.
Fair. I can't really see when they last did a stream. Although I could send you their YouTube later if you want, because in order, they're playing Grand Blue Fantasy, the fighting game.
Okay.
Then they, here's an idea of what happened day 1 on my community Minecraft server.
Oh dear.
And then the next 3 ones right after are Transphobia in 2025, addressing egg cracking. Rev says Desu is an uneducated transphobic mess. And the truth behind trans kids.
That's a really loaded channel. And this is the individual who wrote the 3 Google Docs before, right?
Yes.
Oh boy, that's a very loaded channel right there.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Very loaded.
Also, chat, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
I'm supposed to say that now.
Yes, you are. Like, comment, and subscribe, because apparently YouTube wants you to be an active viewer. So be active, chat.
Mochi says, after she asked for consent, she only asked if I was okay. This other person, Mori, I'm gonna call them Mori, just because it's easy to say. Something that happens in a vast majority of cases. Mochi says, I said it was okay because I didn't know how to get out of the situation and was scared. Coven says, you were pressured into it. Somebody else, called Celestic, says, also Mochi agreed to Kina talking to her about stuff not to put it onto Mochi and suggest Mochi doing that. And Coven says, correct. So there's a confrontation, apparently. Probably what inspired the 3 Google Docs.
Yes, probably.
The confrontation. After Mochi spoke up about the many incidents she had with Kina, she and her mutual friends formed a group chat in which they confronted Kina about her behavior and advised her to seek help for her hypersexuality. This is how Kina describes the situation. Would you like to read Kina's for me?
Yes. When confronted by everything by them, I was told that I was threatening rape because I brought up a conversation telling them you seem very toppable, and that if I was with them that I would take the lead, which I did end up saying on a late voice call. But knowing that I wouldn't be able to physically reach them at all, knowing both our financial situations, it would be nearly impossible to actually reach them unless I sold everything that I own. I don't know why that's so funny. But yes, I ended up getting put in a group chat where they did announce they were ending things with me. They had no interest in harming me and wanted me to change. I tried to explaining everything only to be met with no response. At this point, I've been on this topic for several days and on the verge of suicide from poor mental health. I've already been adding on top was drama about me and how I cause people to be feared and hurt. So after an entire night of waiting for any response, constantly having things in my brain, getting drunk and sobering up from alcohol twice, having a panic attack and reading their message over and over again, I realized what they wanted. It took you that long, huh? Simply, they wanted me out of their lives, which was simple. I said my goodbyes and blocked them and stopped interacting with them on all platforms to make their spaces as comfortable as possible. Since an apology would not work, explaining myself will not work. A recorded video of me with my apology that left me in genuine tears because I couldn't stop crying didn't get me any response. I knew it was better just to leave this alone, move on, and no longer interact. I did that, said that I shouldn't waste my emotions on this since I won't get a reply, and said thank you for everything. It moved on from their life like they wanted to, promising that this would never happen again, as I didn't want anything like this mess to occur again.
What do you think about that response?
I'm gonna be honest, I was caught on the fact that they're like, there's obviously no way that I would go and rape this person. I would have to sell everything I own.
Yeah.
That was just the funniest part to me. It's like, I have to sell my shit to do that.
It's not the response you want in that situation.
It's funny though. It is funny though.
A few important things to note here are that Kina confirms we had no intention to harm her or publicize this. While posting the document, she posted on Twitter that she fears she may be blackmailed, saying if we want to ruin her life, we should just do it. She makes it seem like the victim, Mochi, is an evil person who would try and ruin her and con her into confessing. Anyone who knows Mochi knows this is 100% false. And these are the tweets she had made regarding this. Genuinely, just name drop me. You've already clearly decided in your head on what kind of person I am, and you never responded to anything I've said. You say you won't do things to me unless I feel like a threat to others. Well, in your eyes, I'm already a threat. I want this entire situation to unfold and finish. You want to ruin my life, you can do it. I'm nearly the easiest person to dox, and I have nearly everything about my life available. I'd rather be hurt fast than slow, and it's really tiring watching this slowing pain. I'm very tired of this situation, feeling like some kind of blackmail for my future self, and it's starting to build up into something that would eventually end everything for me in the future, to the point where you were telling so many people you might as well post about it. Another important thing to note is how Kina said that after being confronted, she was met with no response for hours, making her get herself drunk, crying nonstop. We want to debunk this by saying Kina claimed to have been drunk before we set out the confrontational messages. She states so herself, making Mochi wait for hours to the point where it was the middle of the night for Coven and Celestic. The video of her crying also didn't get the response she wanted because she had blocked the victim before she could even respond or watch the video. This is actually how the confrontation went. It's very important to note that when Kina initially sent her text response, Coven and Celestic, Mochi's friends, were both asleep because of time zone differences. Mochi shares a time zone with Kina, but did not respond as she was in emotional distress from the situation, not feeling safe to talk with Kina alone. So the initial message from Coven was, sorry chat, I have to get close to the screen. Hello Kina, we have discussed this with the three of us lot and have come to the following conclusion, and we want you to know before we say what we've been wanting to say, we want you to improve, that we want you to seek therapy and improve and recover. But we no longer want you in our lives. What you have done to Mochi is unacceptable, and since you weren't even certain what exactly we were talking about, it was when you told Mochi you wanted to meet up, and almost in the same breath mentioned you would take the lead, referring to Mochi being asexual after she had previously rejected you during the VC. She then didn't exactly say no, because she was scared and felt threatened how you would react towards it. But she had at that point rejected you in a conversation days prior. In case you do not understand why that would be a rape threat, it's not a rape threat. Stop with the rape threat.
That is not a rape threat. These people are fucking retarded.
You basically pushed the idea of meeting up despite Mochi not really saying yes, or that she trying to kind of guilt trip her into doing it. And then also try to tell her that you would just take the lead to start being sexual and having sex, despite her having told you she was asexual and her having said no to you, regardless the idea of having any form of sexual relations with you. You then also proceeded to tell Mochi that she should try anal. Why?
Has she?
Why? You already don't have first base locked in, and you're like, let's skip to anal. Fucking
it's a little rough, but I bet we could try it. I'll go nice and easy on you. I'm the one taking the lead after all.
At this point, she'd have rejected you several times over and has hammered home the asexual point several times as well. And you still proceeded to suggest she needed to try anal and how she hadn't ever had the right experience. To that, I do want to say you're using the same SA logic that straight guys do towards lesbians. It's basically word for word the whole you haven't had the right dick yet. You made Mochi uncomfortable and more importantly unsafe. You also tried to convince her into having romantic relations despite the rejection she gave you. We do want to say we don't think you are inherently an evil person, but we do think you are very misguided and broken by your own trauma in ways that make you almost feel like you should improve because you can't. We think you can, and we desperately want you to. We want you to find therapy and become the good person you definitely could be. We are worried about friends we share with you, mutually. So far, we have decided not to be public or tell anyone. But if we find out you don't improve, we absolutely will publicize this and protect people we think are at risk. The reason we aren't telling people yet, unless they ask us, is it purely because we don't mean you any harm or want you to get into trouble or anything of the sort. We think you are a young girl who does not yet understand the gravity words can have, so please, we really wish for you to improve. She replies, "Hi, I'm not sober. Can I get back to this in a couple of hours?" She then accidentally calls and says, "Oops, sorry, misstep."
And I'm like, yeah, it's okay.
I don't know why that's such a funny response.
Thank you for the raid.
I don't know why it's such just a fucking funny response to me.
Holy shit, this is we're talking. All right, for those that are just
You get that
joining.
whole essay. Here, I'll scroll up so they could see it. We just read through this whole essay from this person about how like they want their friend to improve because they're like getting too handsy with their asexual friend that specifically said they don't want anything sexual. And their first response to all of this is, "I am not sober. Can I get back to you in a couple of hours?"
You know, I'm on their Twitter. I'm just scrolling in the background, and one of their tweets is literally trans rights. I'm trans wrong.
God.
This person is like literally everything that 4chan would make fun of in terms of like a perfect trans individual.
So she comes back. Let's see, that's 417 PST. Okay, I don't know why you guys are doing like multiple different time zones.
Oh fuck, this is hilarious.
So she said that she was too drunk at 1:28 p.m. PST. At 4:17 p.m. PST, which is 3 hours later, she says, "Yes, I understand that what I've done is quite horrible, but I also want to add a few things. Yes, I'm sorry I was told by Mochi was asexual and still followed through on what I did. I will admit I practically SA'd her. About the rape threat, prior to our conversations, we had discussed me visiting and how it would be almost impossible for our current financial situation for me to visit and stay at all. So I didn't really think I would be able to reach Mochi's physical location. It's something hypothetical that I thought of, but it's no excuse of me dragging her into my fantasies. And I'm sorry that that happened. I'm sorry that I made her feel as though that wasn't my intentions, but I did it, and I'm sorry that it was taken like that. Look, it wasn't a rape threat. However, you doing this thing where you say, I would never do that. I don't even have the money to get to her.
It's just like
it's a weird statement.
It's just like fucking, oh fuck, what's his name? Is the I wouldn't even rape her kind of thing. Literally.
It's a really weird statement. You need to work on that.
Also, chat, this person is trans. I think they were born as a dude.
Akko, don't try and bias your chat. I know you got the transphobic chat here, but still. Danny K for 5 Canadian. Gotta finish up my night, but take some monies. Have a good night, everyone. You have a good night too.
Sargon said that? Yeah, Sargon did say that, yes.
Prior to the anal discussion, so she did ask for anal, that's confirmed now. I recall asking for consent as I was hinting towards heavily sexual topics, and I was given a yes.
They were given a yes.
I need to zoom in on this. It says anal, right? It does say anal.
The anal discussion.
Okay. During the anal topic, I was mainly sharing my experience with having experienced anal sex and suggested Mochi to try it. Why?
You just haven't had the right anal sex. Thank you for the 5.
Also, I will add, Mochi, to my knowledge, is an actual woman. You are trans, which means you have male parts. The guys, for some reason, your special spot is in your butt. Don't know why. God hates us, I guess.
Wait, oh, you're talking about the prostate, right?
Yeah, the little button. So
okay.
for guys, if you get past like the initial ouchie, yeah, it is better. Women do not have a prostate. At least not there. So
all the pleasure goes in the one area.
For most women, it is typically just straight not enjoyable. So I would suggest in the future not recommending that to women, because trust me, they're not going to come away from it being like, oh, that was fucking great.
So you're telling me that if I want to do anal, it has to be gay sex?
Yes.
Okay, understood. Have a nice day.
I mean, you can do it if you're a woman. It's just I've never heard of a woman who wasn't into like the ouch aspect of it.
I see. So they kind of have to have some moral degradation with them, but in order to really enjoy it.
I guess, yeah.
I getcha.
Which is wrongful of me, I'm sorry, but it was never a you haven't had the right dick yet thing, but genuinely, it really did feel good, and I think you should try it. But at the same time, I know Mochi is asexual, but still did talk about this topic, but I did try to at least ask for consent before talking about it.
I have to ask, are they autistic as well?
I don't know.
There's a possibility.
Lastly, I was just getting a lot of mixed signals. You were not getting mixed signals.
Say. You get mixed messages.
Made me really confused when most of the time when I discuss topics like this, I've gotten a no, it's okay. When I brought things up like and realized and brought it up, God, you can't fucking type. Christ. Realized and brought up that I shouldn't be talking about them, which allowed me to think that it was okay to talk about these topics. So yes, I was getting really confused. And I also wasn't sure what I was doing. And there was a lot of yes, no's, and the fact that she still wanted to talk to me and continue talking to me made me really confused because I was unsure if she was having a good time or feeling uneased. There was a lot of different things happening. Also, I'm unsure if I was ever given a hard no. I don't recall receiving a hard no towards sexual topics. So yes, I'm sorry about everything that's happened that's led up to this, but I'd also like to add, there's these details. Also, I will add another thing. In personally, I'm gonna do the same with this one and kind of make it a little bit bigger. Personally, from what I've had with people and done with people, it does make me utter human garbage. Stop with the utter human garbage thing.
This person is really self-deprecating.
I've had a past that everyone has wanted me to change from, yet I haven't changed. So I doubt my ability to actually change as a person because it will always feel like I'm human trash no matter what happens. But I like to say that you can rest assured this won't happen to anyone because Mochi is the only person who I've had sexual interactions with prior to them being sexual with me or have not been given consent.
Good to know.
Glad you clarified that.
/ madam.
Bye, Jody. You have a good one. I'm sorry that Mochi had to be the one to experience this. You were not a good orator. Holy shit. Hey, miss. I'm sorry you're the one that had to get sexually harassed by me, but you can feel better because I won't do it to anybody else.
Exactly.
It's just such a fucking... Why would
you... Just understand... I felt really bad when I sexually harassed you, and I won't do it again.
It's such a fucking weird way to say it. Sorry. Well, actually, I should have kept reading. I'm sorry that Mochi had to be the one to experience this, and I can't say 100% that it will never happen again.
Why can't you say that?
Fuck, bro. Oh,
these are beautiful, Mizu. I don't know where you found them, but these are beautiful.
See, chat, there's so many like VTuber Google Docs getting released all the time, and most of the time we never cover them because there's like not much going on, or they're like small people that don't matter. And like this one, I'm kind of putting it in the category of not much going on because it really is just like one person is very pushy about sex and the other person just doesn't know how to say no properly.
Yeah.
But it's also really fucking funny.
It is extremely funny. Yeah. The writing itself, it just reminds me of when I used to roleplay on Twitter when I was a teenager, and definitely not supposed to be role playing. And I felt like I encountered there's always this type of people, and they've got the Dragon Ball Z profile pictures, and you know that they're like children because of how they type, and they always use the Dragon Ball Z picture, and it's just like, bro.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like listening to this right now.
I can't say 100% this will never happen again with anyone else, as I doubt in my own ability to be a decent human being. But you can feel free to do anything towards me that would make you and your spaces comfortable. Also, just to make this clear, I would never have sex with anyone without their consent. I will never rape anybody.
Good to know.
Thank you for the clarification.
I will never rape anybody.
It's just a weird thing to have to clarify.
I'm glad that they are clarifying it, but it is kind of scary that they're like, yeah, I'll never rape anybody.
And then Kina says, oh my god, I'm sorry, but I was looking at all the past messages to try and find the hard no and realized that I found it, but I never read that message fully and skimmed past it. But really, I'm sorry. I never wanted it for it to turn out this way. But yeah, that's all I had to say. I'm ready to be blocked, or anything happens, there's going to be no response. I think some people should not have access to social media, connecting them to other people, this person being one. Probably.
Yeah. I agree.
The video. So this is proof that she did in fact send a video. The video and the final message leaving the group chat. There's a video, and then Kina says, yeah, I get the point of this now. There's no point of having my mental health be deteriorated by this. It's a mess I created, and I appreciate the fact that there's nothing being done to me. The best thing I can do is try and prevent things like this from happening again. Thank you, farewells. Coven says she didn't even give us a chance to respond. And Celestic says, yeah, no, she said on Twitter she is fine and will take time off to reflect, so that's surprisingly good.
Bro, this person still lives with their parents.
I mean, they're 18.
Fair, but that's it's.
I don't think it's weird.
What I expect. Oh, it's not weird. It's just like that's about what I expect, honestly.
The video that she sent was very emotionally distressing for everyone involved. When Kina sent her last message and left the group chat, Coven and Celestic had only just woken up, and Mochi was already asleep. At this point, Slash was not feeling safe to respond to Kina herself. Sorry, I'm a little sleepy. Immediately after Kina had left the group chat, she blocked the group members on all platforms, therefore making the group unable to respond at all. This is just showing that they'd been blocked. Makes this statement on Twitter look disingenuous when Kina has chosen to block everyone and make this a public issue. Says, genuinely, if you have your mind set on what type of person I am and it happens to be bad, just block me. I will literally no longer exist in your life.
That's about how it works, yeah. That's a good piece of advice.
We're going back in the past again. This is what she said privately to the victim roughly 7 hours before the confrontation. I'm going to make it bigger again so I can read it better. Hi Mochi, you don't need to respond, but I don't think I can distract myself from this situation anymore, and I don't think I can even sleep or do anything for these past couple of days just thinking about this situation and what to do about it. And I don't think I can feel right to do anything with my normal day without saying anything. I spent the past couple of days thinking and processing things through about what I've done, and I'm sorry I made you feel the way you feel, and I never intended for it to go that way. No excuses here, it's all on my behalf. I've definitely sexually assaulted you, and I'm guilty.
Why would you admit that?
I will admit it here with no excuses, and I feel really sorry for doing that to you. Kind of feel like I lied about myself as a person for hiding the fact that I've always been utter human garbage, and I know deep down how shitty of a person I am, and something like this was bound to happen, and I'm so sorry that it happened to you out of anyone that caused you distress and trauma for my behavior. For that, I feel like it seems best for me, the harasser, to no longer contact you, since it can cause unwanted trauma and making your spaces uncomfortable. Probably be best for you to block me on all platforms. I would be completely fine if there was a doc or tweet released about this.
It
does just sound like a humiliation fetish.
You think so?
Well, because I would be totally fine if you release a doc or a tweet about me. Like, why are you saying that? Fucking weird.
I've encountered so many of those weird people on the internet. It's weird.
You can use this DM as proof, as once again, I am deeply sorry for my actions because I've always been like this for years. I was a minor sexually harassing adults, and I know deep down that I'm a terrible, rotted human being, and I'm sorry you had to learn it the hard way. Once again, I'm sorry. If there's anything to happen to me, I would be fine with it. I feel like it's best to make yourself feel better for whatever it takes, and I'm sorry for the torment and trauma I caused. I am really sorry. I promise I'll change. And then they send like a video.
Did they actually is it something that we can play?
No.
Darn.
Kina says, "Hi Mochi, this is the last message I'll be sending to you. I honestly know what it's like facing your own harasser, and I also had someone do the talking for me. But you can rest assured knowing the things that happen to you won't happen again, because I don't want unwanted messy drama that can ruin everything. Thank you for everything. Sorry for everything. Farewell."
Boy, oh boy. This is like extremely retarded.
They say shit in the worst way possible.
Ooh, I found some snow.
And this is just mentioning what they said on Twitter. But yeah, they were the one that took this to Twitter first. They released these 3 documents first, which is... it's just weird, man.
Weird, yes. Funny, also, yes.
And here's a bunch of the different tweets that Kina made. This is like one tweet thread, by the way. Just like all it... whining about all this again. And we already read like most of these. So side notes. The only people aware of what Kina has done before Kina coming forward publicly announcing her hiatus were the directly involved parties, Mochi, Coven, and Celestic. The others involved this doc, as well as friends close to the affected party, were only informed after Kina posted the documents. The friends who were informed cut contact and blocked Kina. We believe her further crash outs on Twitter /suicide threats /ideation are a result of her being banned from multiple communities, most likely from shared ban lists on Twitch being connected to the victim or their friends. So Kina does not feel remorseful. After being confronted, Kina announced a hiatus on her Twitter as like one of the... I think I saw this when this happened, but I didn't actually read it. Because I feel like I recognized the logo. I could be wrong, though. You would think that if someone announced a hiatus due to their own behavior, sexually harassing a friend, it would be taken seriously. Mind you, this hiatus even made it onto big VTuber news channels on Reddit, but Kina did not take it seriously. On July 6th, she showed interest in returning to streaming. Then right after posting the docs in which she exposed herself, she posted a screenshot of her PayPal balance being low, saying she will return to streaming again because she's broke.
Oh no!
What?
That's hilarious.
The next claim, might actually have to stream again anyways because, yeah, I'll probably return soon.
I'm broke, guys. I gotta come back and stream so that you can give me money.
An hour after this announced hiatus, Kina went back to posting suggestive content of her body. This sparked confusion with us, as she said she was going to take a big step back from anything not safe for work related. 2 hours later, she announced her hiatus would only take place on her streaming channels and not Twitter, leaving an interesting message with it that we believe was once again a self-deletion threat. Kina says, even though I'm on hiatus, I will still be using Twitter. If I go silent with no voice for more than 2 weeks, I apologize in advance for any harsh actions.
It's not really a threat, unless there's something else.
They said a self-deletion threat.
Yeah,
I would say that is somewhat implying that you might do something to yourself.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Now, what is even more interesting is that Kleena so clearly said she was sorry and was going to try and change in her doc. However, she says the following things. To this day, I still lie. I still do the things when I was a minor I was told not to do, but as an adult. Continue to engage in sexual activity I did as a minor, and nothing changed about me when I was told to change countless times. I've not changed as a person. The only thing that changed about me was age. I still like the things that would be deemed unacceptable to like, and I still am just the utter most horrible human being. I doubt my own ability to change, and I said that yet in my apology because I can't take my mind off it. I promised to change, which I genuinely felt like to promise, which was able to relieve my heart from its beat because it was beating so fast, I wasn't able to get any rest and just wanted to end it all. In a conversation with Coven 4 days before the confrontation, Kina suggests that she feels little to no remorse for what she did to Mochi. So Kina says, I think I tried to do a half hiatus, I went out, but still, I think what I did to Mochi is bad, yes. I think there should be consequences for what I did, yes. IDK how I feel though, it's mixed. Coven says, maybe take some time to process. Kina says, the problem is that I fear I do not feel remorse, and that's what I fear.
Why would you tell them that? Why? No.
Coven says, hence I suggest therapy. Not uncommon for abuse victims to have this. It doesn't make